How's it going tonight, YouTube? It is March 17th, 2018, Saturday night. I just recorded my Q video about the United States Marine Corps being activated, possibly picking up 3 high-level targets. But I wanted to get this video out to you guys. I've been telling you it's been coming out, but here it is. Who is Barack Obama tied to? Do we have any solid proof or any type of close proof that he has ties to Dopey, Prince Alawid bin Talal? Let's take a look. It is well known that Hillary Clinton's closest aide, Huma Abedin, has been well-documented connections to the Muslim Brotherhood. What you probably haven't heard is that Huma's brother, Hassan Abedin, worked with bin Talal on a project called Spreading Islam to the West. Remember that. The Huffington Post reported that the Podestas are registered foreign assets of Saudi Arabia and receive over $140,000 a month in order to lobby on behalf of the Saudi government. Well, isn't that just dandy? Okay, this is Percy Sutton. Percy Ellis Sutton was a prominent black American political and business leader, an activist in the civil rights movement, and lawyer. He was also a freedom rider and a legal representative for Malcolm X. I'm telling you, you can't make this stuff up. Watch where this goes. Crazy. All right, let's see what Mr. Percy Sutton has to say about Mr. Barack Hussein Obama. All right, guys, this is Percy Sutton right here, okay? And for your sake and mine, listening to this guy talk is like pulling teeth. He's an older gentleman, so he talks a little slower and a little pauses. So what I did was, just so you know, I raised the speed of this video to 1.5 times its normal speed, just so you could hear what he's getting at, all right? Let's take a look here.
I was introduced to him by a friend who was raising money for him. The friend's name is Dr. Khalid Al-Mansour from Texas. He is the principal advisor to one of the world's richest men. He told me about Obama. He wrote to me about him. And his introduction was, there's a young man that has applied to Harvard. I know that you have a few friends left there because you used to go up there to speak. Would you please write a letter in support of him? That's before Obama decided to run. And he interjected the advice that Obama had passed the requirements, had taken and passed the requirements necessary to get into Harvard and become the president of the law review. That's before he ever ran for anything.
Yeah, so
I wrote a letter.
so that's at 1.5 times speed, and you heard the pauses. But the message is important, right? He was called by a guy named Khalid Mansour, Dr. Khalid Mansour, who was a principal advisor to Prince Alawid bin Talal, the picture I showed you in the beginning, okay? Now, it was conjecture back and forth whether he was lying, making it up or not, but we're going to dig a little deeper than that. Okay, so that was this gentleman you just saw, right? Percy Sutton. And that's what he said. You heard him. All right, now, Dr. Khalid Mansour says, I spoke to Mansour, well, this is a reporter. I spoke to Mansour Thursday evening, who said he avoided directly contradicting the story out of respect for Sutton. A dear friend, his health is not good. But pressed, he denied all the details of Sutton's story. The scenario, as it related to me, did not happen, he said. I'm sure he's written a letter to someone else, and he got it confused somehow, he said of Sutton, adding that he'd never asked Sutton to write a letter to any university supporting anyone's admission. So the old man's crazy, right? He's nuts. All right, now I'm going to show you guys who Dr. Khalid Mansour is. Excuse me. Seemed a little sketchy to me anyway. This is a story from 1978. January 5th, 1978, Jet Magazine. All right, now remember this. This is important also. The efforts of a black California attorney and a story in a March 24th, 1977 issue of Jet have resulted in a sweet 1978, remember that, business deal between a Nashville-based black architectural firm and the Saudi Arabian government. Now I'm going down to the left side where it's highlighted. The deal began when the 100-year-old McKissack firm was made aware by the Jet story of a business arrangement between the black law firm of Roger C. Holmes and Warden, based in San Francisco and Saudi Arabia. The firm contacted Donald Warden. Okay, so remember this guy's name, Donald Warden, also known as Khalid Abdullah Tariq al-Mansour. So for brevity, we're going to call him Donald Warden or Khalid Mansour. Okay, of the Holmes & Holmes Warden firm. So it tells you on the right side, Holmes is the top left and Warden is the top right picture. And guys, I will not even put his videos on here. I don't want to have you listen to this guy. Huge anti-Semite, big time racist, in my opinion anyway. Big time racist. He's one of those like black power people that's like, if it's not black, it's not right. And I think all people are created equal. All right, so Dr. Khalid Mansour is Donald Warden. All right, guys, so remember that. It's going to come important here. All right, so here's a little history I was looking up. 1966, Huey Newton's mentor, Donald Warden. Was that Huey Newton in the news? Oh, no, that was Huey Lewis in the news, right? Who was Huey Newton? Oh, that's right. He was one of the founders of the Black Panthers, right? Huey Newton's mentor, Donald Warden, a.k.a. Dr. Khalid Mansour, creates Economic Night in a storefront located next to the future Black Panther Party office on Grove Street. March 17, 1966, Berkeley police interrupt an impromptu street corner poetry recitation, resulting in the arrest of Bobby Seale, Huey P. Newton, and Gerald Horton. Charges are later dropped. Now, Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton were the founders of the Black Panthers. Okay. On the top, Huey Newton, a black militant activist student, meets Bobby Seale while attending Merritt College. Both joined the Afro-American Association, a black cultural organization led by none other than Khalid Mansour, a.k.a. Donald Warden. And there's actually happens to be a story about Malcolm X getting shot right there, February 21st, 1965. Malcolm X is shot several times. A black male, later identified as Talmadge Hayer, Thomas Hagen, is arrested. Tom Hagen, isn't that from the Godfather? All right. Maybe that's where Q was trying to lead us for this. Godfather? Let's see. All right, so what is this now? Now, he was denying that story in 2006, I think it was. It was certainly before Obama's election, and let's just say Obama didn't want to have anything to do with this guy and his past before he was president. But this is a UTEC header where they basically promote somebody who's going to speak. Renowned global speaker Khalid al-Mansour to deliver lecture at UTEC. Renowned global speaker, Muslim lawyer, black nationalist, and author Dr. Khalid Abdullah Tariq al-Mansour is scheduled to deliver the UTEC distinguished blah 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 blah. Al-Mansour, who made news in 2008 when it was revealed that he had been a patron of Barack Obama and recommended him for admission to Harvard Law School in 1998. Is co-founder of the international law firm of Alawid Al-Talal Al-Mansour and special advisor to Saudi Arabian Prince, His Royal Highness, Prince Alawid bin Talal bin Abdulaziz. Okay. Chew. Akhenazi. Excuse me. Okay, so now he says he did. Okay, before Obama ran for presidency, he didn't know what this old man was talking about. Oh, I have respect for him, so I don't want to say anything bad about him. Yeah, what he said was wrong. But then, 4 years later, you're actually using the fact that you wrote a letter to get him into Harvard that he wrote a letter to get Obama into office. You write that on your header as your highlights. Your two highlights are you're the advisor to bin Talal, Alawid bin Talal, and that you got Obama into Harvard. 4 years later, you called the old man a liar. What else does this guy lie about? Aha! Very interesting. Now, as I was looking into this story, I gotta be honest, I bumped into this last, what I find I think it's a golden nugget anyway, but I was looking into this, and the last piece I found on accident while looking into this. All right, Tuesday, November 6th, 1979. It's an article from Vernon Jarrett. That couldn't be related to Valerie Jarrett, could it? Yeah, you cannot make this crap up, people. Vernon Jarrett is apparently the father-in-law of Valerie Jarrett of Obama fame, right? He wrote an article in 1970, what was it, 1979, guys? Sorry, 1979, November 6th. Happens to be somebody I know's birthday. And his brother. Let's see, and they're not twins either. All right. The article says, written by Vernon Jarrett. Remember, Valerie Jarrett's father-in-law. Unfriggin' believable. He writes, in 1979, what about those rumored billions of dollars the oil-rich Arab nations are supposed to unload on American black leaders and minority institutions? It's not just a rumor. Aid will come from some of the Arab states. Predicted a black San Francisco lawyer who had close ties to officials of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC. The first indications of Arab help to American blacks may be announced in December, said Khalid Abdul Mansour, formerly known as Donald Warden, of the Holmes and Warden law firm. Well, that's pretty crazy. Okay, so Vernon Jarrett's column details how Al-Mansour told him about a proposal he made to OPEC Secretary General Ortiz regarding a program to spend $20 million per year for 10 years to aid 10,000 minority students each year, including blacks, Arabs, Hispanics, Asians, and Native Americans. These minority students would then migrate through the political system promoting Palestinian and radical Islamist causes. Al-Mansour told Jarrett that the program had been endorsed by Ortiz and other OPEC administrators. Yep. Okay. So now, once again, quoted, the idea was fully endorsed by Ortiz and other OPEC administrators. Mansour, who lives in San Antonio, said the story was definitely not true. It's not true. It's not accurate, Mansour said. He said that he had represented OPEC in a lawsuit in Los Angeles, but that was the extent of his involvement with the organization. As for the column, I've never heard of it. I don't know what motivation Mr. Jarrett had. Mansour said he absolutely had not had anything to do with Obama's education. Oh, really? That's funny, because that was 1979 when you had the thing with OPEC, right? Here it is in 1978, the article I showed you earlier, in which they reference a story from 1977 where they kickstarted this deal between him and the Saudis. So boom, another lie. Oh, it gets deeper. Dopey Prince Alawid Talal wants to control our U.S. politicians with daddy's money. Can't do it when I get elected. Trump 2016. That was a tweet from Trump in December of 2015. The prognosticator of prognosticators. You guys remember he was arrested, right? Right. Now, fast forward to 2012 time, or 2008, excuse me. Alawid is Citigroup's largest individual shareholder. Citigroup, for the uninformed, is an enormous multinational investment bank based in New York City. The company, according to documents on WikiLeaks, submitted to the Obama campaign a list of its preferred candidates for cabinet positions in an Obama administration. This list corresponds almost exactly to the eventual composition of Barack Obama's cabinet. Having had a direct hand in Obama's college education and cabinet selection, Alawid is far from uninvolved with American politics. Yes, he is. The memorandum revealed by WikiLeaks in a recent document release from the email account of John Podesta, he's the gift that keeps on giving, isn't he? The Podesta emails. who currently serves as Hillary Clinton's campaign chair, was written by Michael Froman, who was then an executive with Citigroup and currently serves as U.S. Trade Representative. The email is dated October 6, 2008, and bears the subject line, Lists. It went to Podesta a month before he was named chairman of President-elect Obama's transition team. Isn't that funny? The email was sent at the height of the financial meltdown that erupted after the bankruptcy of Lehman Brothers on September 15th, even as Citigroup and its Wall Street counterparts were dragging the U.S. and world economy into the deepest crisis since 1930s, they remained, as the email shows, the real power behind the facade of American democracy and its electoral process. Froman's list proved remarkably prescient, right? Basically, it was perfectly on the money. Now, here's a video, guys, that I did on January 21st, talking about, did John Podesta put a hit out on Anton Scalia? And it just so happens to be in Texas. San Antonio is a little far away, so I'm not going to say it's anything to do with that guy Mansour. But as I was looking through these things, these articles, I found this, and I was like, With the persistent initiative of plaintiff aided by the outstanding amicus curiae briefs and through oral arguments submitted on behalf of plaintiff Richard A. Fine Esquire and Uter Esquire in propria persona, and this is important, and submitted by Latham and Watkins and Antonin Scalia Esquire on behalf of Amicus Indonesia U.S. Business Committee of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and by Holmes and Warden and Khalid Abdul Tariq Al Mansour. So, did these guys have connections way back then? So here's the brief from Justia on it, and it says, I asked my friend who is a lawyer, and he said, amicus curiae, what these people are. So Dr. Khalid Mansour and Antonin Scalia were both amicus curiae in this case. And what that means is friend of the court. So you're basically saying, this is what I think. Nobody's asking you to be there. Nobody's paying you to be there. And it's supposed to be impartial. So by the way I read it, and my friend kind of read it the same way, is that if you're in there, you're basically going one way or the other. It seems to me like you have a stake in the matter, right? So Latham and Watkins, Philip Bellevue, and Antonin Scalia, Chicago, Illinois, for Indonesia U.S. Committee of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce, as friend of the court, urging dismissal. Holmes and Warden by Khalid Abdul Tariq Al Mansour, friend of the court, urging dismissal. So you have Antonin Scalia and this guy, Khalid Mansour, Donald Warden, who clearly had Percy Sutton write a letter to get Obama into Harvard. These two had a connection way back in 1970-78. Now, I'm not saying that's why he got killed, or, they say he died in his sleep, in a bed, fully dressed. The bed was not unmade, and he had a pillow over his face, right? And they didn't do an autopsy. I think they cremated him. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. But as I'm reading through this, it's clicking, and I'm like, if these two knew each other back then, maybe they're literally cleaning up loose ends right now, because Scalia knew to the extent of it. And from what I gather on Scalia, he was a real SOB. Apparently, he was a big-time pedo. I'm not verifying it. I'm not locking it in, but I've seen from quite a few different people, and apparently that ranch that they found his body at was known, like a known pedo ranch, where they have like small children come in and basically do whatever with the pedos. So that was basically the whole gist of where that place was that he died. That was what it was all about pedo stuff. So, I mean, take that for what you will, guys. I think it's a slam dunk that this guy was obviously getting help from the Saudis. Now, if you do see in there, Antonin Scalia was for the Indonesia side of things. Let me see if I can pull this up quick. Whoop. This was like an inside pamphlet for something for Obama. It might have been on his book. I'm not sure exactly what it was. But in any event, it says, Barack Obama, the first African-American president of the Harvard Law Review, was born in Kenya and raised in Indonesia and Hawaii. The son of an American anthropologist and a Kenyan finance minister, he attended Columbia. Now, there was some other articles I should have thrown in here, guys. There's a guy who did great research on Obama, and he said there was a two-week trip he took to Pakistan right before he supposedly enrolled in Columbia, and he spent 2 weeks at like a Hilton or a very expensive hotel when in these books he writes about himself, he had no money, strings to hold up his pants and whatnot. He sure was taking a lot of trips to foreign countries and moving around a lot. For a guy that had no money. So to me, it reads that this Muslim, the black Donald Warden, the Black Panther gentleman there, had set this up, and he's definitely in the pocket of the Saudis. I mean, he's the principal advisor to the Saudis. I mean, I don't know if this guy really is the principal advisor or, Alawi just lets him think he is. But I find it hard to believe that a guy from Saudi Arabia would have some guy in America be his financial advisor. I just don't think they roll like that, but I could be wrong. But in any event, guys, let me know what you think about that. There was just a little bit of, I just saw that and I said, that is ridiculous, the thing between Scalia. I mean, it's a slam dunk that he is not only financed by Saudi Arabia, but they actually literally put his whole cabinet in his office per their picks. That's a slam dunk. That's a slam dunk that he got a funding from Saudis. What's not a slam dunk, though, is the Scalia, but I find it highly, highly interesting. Let me know what you guys think down in the box down below, guys. With that, thumbs up, subscribe. Until the next one, peace out.